I'm gonna say this right now. What I'm saying about there is a disconnect between men and women is glaring. It's glaring, right? And here's the thing. Even when men and women make the same amount of money or around the same amount of money or whatever the case may be, or when men make more money or men are financially successful, men still have we have character flaws. Humongous character flaws.
Why you be bringing me up, man, just to drop me?
TJ, I've never dropped you, believe it or not.
Hold on, let me cut my stuff down.
I've never dropped you. That's what the audience may drop you. I've never dropped you before. I like talking to you.
No, man, what I was going to say, man, the average man and average woman are pretty much the same. I think the average man is probably slightly higher. So I think they do complement each other well, and I think they are good for each other. There's nothing wrong with being average.
I don't think anything. Well, okay. So the average man and the average woman, because we're grading men against other men, as opposed to grading men against women, and and every whatever, right? Like that. To me, like I've told you guys a million times. In my household, I don't compare myself. Like I don't compare myself to C-Dave. You know what I'm saying? Like you're a man. I don't really feel like there's much competition for me as far as men are concerned. And I'm being honest. Like I don't feel like there are many men that I'm like, oh man, he's really just, you know what I'm saying? Like very, very few men actually like got their shit together. In my eyes, right? But I be just talking to the average woman, and I be like, damn, she's like so much like she's so like. Like her emotional regulation is so much better than mine, and she's so much more empathetic than I. Like this is just the average woman that I just talk to, just like my friends that I talk to every day, my wife. Like I'm just like, damn, this is crazy. I watch the stuff that my wife do for my kids and how she, how she treats me, how she treats other people, and I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Like I want to get there. You know what I mean? Like I want to get there. I don't think
you think your wife is average? The average?
No. I don't think my wife is average. I know she's not average. She's not average. But in certain ways she is, though. In certain ways she is, to me, the average woman.
So it's just like, my wife, she's not an average woman. So I can't compare every woman to her and say that she's the average. She's not the litmus test of what the average woman is. In fact, she's above what I would consider the average woman is. And I'm pretty sure you feel the same way about your wife. So comparing all women to our wives or the women that we deal with, I think is bad, because the average woman is not doing what your wife or my wife is doing. So
that's what I'm saying. But see, Dave, I disagree with that. That's the part that I disagree with. I do think the average woman is doing that stuff. That's what I'm saying. There are certain things where my wife and the average woman, she's average. And I mean that with all due respect. The bar isn't in hell for women, right? Like I'm saying for themselves. Like they don't set the bar below the dirt. Men set the bar below the dirt for us, and then we meet the bar below the dirt.
So you said your wife has a master's degree, I believe.
That's what I'm saying.
Is that average?
No. But see, Dave, listen to what I'm saying.
Right.
In that way, she's not. She makes more money than the average. All these things, right? I'm saying, though, her character is that of an average woman in so many ways. Like the women that I talk to, just the average women that I talk to, when I talk to them about raising their kids, when I talk to them about being, how they treat their husbands. When I talk to the average woman about just everyday stuff, beyond money, beyond education, just character stuff, I'm like, it's so common that I find like a decent woman. I find like a woman that she ain't lying, she ain't manipulating, she ain't, you know what I'm saying? She ain't gaslighting me. She's not, she's not trying to dominate me, like none of that type of stuff. She's not trying to trick me, none of that. She's just having a regular conversation. I like talking to my female friends more than I like talking to my male friends. They listen better. They care more. They give me better advice, more honest advice. They're not trying to. They're not yes men. Like
all the question, public. So out of all the women that you dated or been friends with or things like that, and you comparing that to the average, and I think you're really missing a lot of, or you haven't dealt with a lot of women who are not that. And in fact, a lot of women do gaslight. A lot of women do manipulate. A lot of women do cheat. They hit. They physically abuse, mentally abuse.
But see, Dave,
and I believe that's the average.
I think the problem with that logic, especially when you start talking about me personally, you start saying like I've dealt with more women romantically than the vast majority of men will ever have access to. And I stopped dating 17 years ago. You see what I'm saying? Like I had like if I would have kept dating the way that I was dating when I was in my 20s, by now I would be like Will Chamberlain type shit. Like I'm not even joking. Like I dealt with so many women in such a short period of time. Mm-hmm. It was ridiculous. And me and my friends, me and my cousin did the same thing. My homie did the same. Like we dated a lot of girls in a short period of time, a lot of women in a short period of time, right? Most men go a lifetime and don't deal, and be in relationships with women. So when men try to tell me like, oh, maybe you haven't seen this or whatever, I promise you, I've been with enough women to come to this conclusion where you could trust what I'm saying. In my mind, I'm like, how many women do I have to date? If I dated 50 women, is that enough for you? If I dated 100 women, is that enough? Like, how many women do I need to date before you stop saying, "Oh, I just don't think you ran into that woman"?
Well, you could date as many as you want to, but the thing is, you haven't, just because you dated these women, you've touched a rat snail amount of women that is comparable to what the average woman is. You know what I'm saying? So just in the United States, we're talking about over 150 million women, and you dated 50 of them, and you base your litmus test off of the 50 women that you have interacted with. That's not a good test.
That's not what I'm doing. And I think that's where that's where y'all mess up at. That's where the projection comes in. What happened with me what's happening with me is I reverse engineered this shit, right? Mm-hmm. So I didn't think like this before. I thought like you, more than likely, right? I won't even say I thought. I was never that extreme, but I definitely like didn't think the way that I think about women now, right? Mm-hmm. Then I got to a point where I was like, wait, everything that I was taught, it's not actually, there's nowhere where I can substantiate these claims. Like C. Dave says, there are a bunch of women who are abusive. Where? Where are all these where are all of these men leaving these abusive relationships with women? They don't exist because women aren't the ones who be typically abusing men. Where are all of these women that's out here cheating on men? Where are all of these women out here financially abusing men? Okay, where are all of these women out here that are neglecting their men's needs, that are neglecting their children? Where are all
out there? Women? So this is the part that you fail to realize.
I'm saying, where are they?
Everything cannot be captured by stats, brother. And that's
no. See, Dave, I agree. That's why I hate because you are the king of trying to do that shit. Like, where's your stats for that? And I'll be like, you can't everything. So I'm happy you said that now. Right?
No, I've always said that. I mean, you can capture some things with stats, but you can't capture everything with stats. But what you can do is you can listen to what a lot of men are saying, and a lot of men are coming here saying like, "Hey, look, yeah, my wife or my significant other, she was emotionally abusive, right? Mm-hmm. She was not there for me. She was manipulative. She was gaslighting." They're saying these things, but what you do is you instantly say they're lying or they're cap. Or what you would say is that, well, what did you do to cause her to do that? You get what I'm saying?
Can I ask you a question, C. Dave?
Yes, sir.
In a patriarchal system, mm-hmm. right? That men feel like they benefit from. Do you not think that men would do anything to protect that that power dynamic?
No.
You don't think that, brother?
No, I don't think that men, when we're talking about the patriarchal system or whatever, particularly especially when you talk about minorities, as far as the patriarchal system, no, we're not going to do anything to uphold that. I think most men want successful mutual transactional relationships, and if they're not getting that, then a lot of times what happens is men stay in unhappy marriages or especially unhappy marriages because the alternative is far worse for them.
That's not true. That's what I'm saying. That's that's unequivocally a lie because men. I'll prove it to you real quick. Super quotes. You can come up. I'm gonna mute you for the rest of the live. You can come up and get unmuted though if you want to. So the reason why that's not true is because the reason why I know that that's not true is because two things. Hey, hold on. Let me go back a little bit. Yes, men will do anything. People who are in power, right, or who have a perception of power, right? They think they're in power. They think they have some power. They have a perceived power, right? And men do. They typically will defend that power. Mm-hmm. They typically will. That's not that men, women, whoever, typically they will defend that. They will protect that, right? That advantage that they have. Most people, if they get an advantage in a dog eat dog world like this country is, they will defend that. Men are no different as a group. So the reason why I was asking that is because when you wonder why I don't believe men, it's because men have a built-in incentive to lie. That's what I'm saying. And you ignoring that and playing dumb and saying, no, they don't. I think they want mutually benefit. They don't. That's a lie. They literally, hold on, see, Dave. Men have literally set up a system to steal the labor and value from human beings, black people and women. You know what I'm saying? All types of human beings, poor people, black people, women, no, whatever, right?
What
the
type of
intersectionality
man?
of it.
What
So
type of man?
you hold on. So you trying to tell me that men are up here, they don't have a reason to lie is ludicrous. Of course they have a reason to lie.
No, your question was, are men inherently liars? And
that's not what I asked. I never said that.
What was your question? What was your exact question?
I never asked you a question. That's just that. I never asked, are men inherently liars? But men are inherently liars.
Right.
We are inherently liars.
No, I don't think anybody is inherently liars. So here's what I'll tell you. So when you talk to men, right, and you ask them about relationships and why don't they get divorced, and they tell you, number one reason is finances, right? The second reason is because then they are being pulled away from their children, right? Those are the two main reasons why they don't get divorced. A lot of men would rather stay in a unhappy marriage.
You talking about the men?
Yes.
Cat.
So again, and again, your answer to this is going to be because men are lying. But when you talk to men and they tell you this, why don't you believe them when they say
because
this?
I know, once again, see, and here's why numbers matter. Two things be true at the same time. Hear me out. How can men who get divorced, most men who get divorced or break up with the mothers of their children, or whatever, they end up being separated, they end up abandoning and or neglecting their children after the fact. So that's not a lie. This is statistically proven. See, Dave.
That's a lie, brother.
It's not a lie. It's not my. It's not my perception.
Let me make sure I understand you correctly.
Hold on, see, Dave. It is not my perception of men. You can't say stuff is a lie that you don't have any idea about. It is not my perception. It is literally documented that the majority of men, a little bit over 20%, completely abandon their kids.
So 20% is the majority?
Hold on, listen. I'm going to go down the numbers. Stop getting excited. a little bit over 20% see their kids twice a month. A little bit over 20% see their kids every weekend. You add those three numbers up, that is neglect and or total abandonment. So the majority of men either neglect or completely abandon their kids after a divorce. So you don't make any sense. Now you want me to believe that the majority of men are staying in these relationships because they're afraid to leave the kids? How? 85% of custodial parents are mothers. The vast majority of men on child support don't pay it, or they either pay too little, don't pay it at all, or pay just enough to not go to jail.
Okay. So again, when you're talking about they're not being it's because one, the standard operating order for a child support order limits men because like you said, 85% of custodial parentship goes to the mother. So it limits men to 3 weekends.
No, it doesn't. Hold on, wait a minute. Jason, hold on, wait. Jason, come up I'm gonna mute you for the rest of the live. You can come up and say it to my face. Stop tapping in that live. Stop being scared.
So again, going back to what I say, so let's use your stats. So 85% of mothers get custody, right? And when we look at the standard,
85% of the mothers don't get custody. 85% of women are custodial parents.
That's the same thing. Custody,
no, it's not.
The same thing.
They don't get custody. They don't get custody. A lot of times, the father abandons.
Okay, fine.
The kids. They don't get
how you want to hurt it. So 85% of women are the custodial parents, right? Yep. And they are the custodial parents because if you look at a standard custodial agreement, the non-custodial parent is going to only get 2 weekends out of a month.
That's not true.
You get the first and the third.
Dave, I promise you, I don't even want to hear about your bullshit about the family court system, that's not true. Everybody knows it's not true. I'm not gonna sit here and argue with you about it. It's a waste of time.
That's not true.
I'm just telling
That's
you,
the default.
it's not true.
How
I'm
is
just
that not
telling you,
true?
it's not true. It's not
So
true.
what's
You
the
talking
standard
about
custody
people-
order?
See, Dave, out of a marriage, it's 50-50. When you're married to the woman and that's your child, the women don't default get the kids. So you're lying.
No,
that's,
Mike, that's not my
50-50.
question. I asked you a very specific question. What is the standard custody order?
50-50.
What does
Out
that-
of a marriage,
what does that mean?
50-50.
What does that mean?
50-50 out of a marriage. 50-50 out of a marriage.
What does that mean?
Both equal. 3 days, 4 days, whatever. 1 week on, 1 week on, whatever.
That's not
That's
the standard.
standard.
That's
When
not
you're
the standard.
yes, when you're married, it's 50-50.
That's not
When
the
you're
standard.
married, it's 50-50.
You don't have a custody order if you're married.
I'm talking about, listen, see, Dave, let's go back. I said married men who got divorced, so divorcees, right? They abandon their kids. After you are married, meaning you were married, meaning now those kids are 50-50. The women don't get the kids automatically after a marriage. That is when you're not married. When you're not married, marriage protects it's an institution, right? Marriage is supposed to protect everybody to a certain extent, in certain ways. But one thing about marriage is supposed to do is, and here's why I know men are such liars and hypocrites, is men are scared to get married. This is what they say. Oh, I don't want to get married because she can take out my stuff, blah, 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 blah. You're worried about divorce.
There's no benefit for men to get married.
Hold on. I just told you one. If you care about your kids, and here's the telltale. You just said there's no benefit because you don't care about your kids, see, Dave. I do. The benefit for me in being married to my wife is them's my babies. I don't gotta go prove nothing to no them my babies. They was born when we was married, them's my kids. I get 50% right off the rip. And then we gotta go, now we can go fight over whatever at that point. We can go argue over whatever after that, but it's 50-50 as of today. We get divorced tomorrow, it's 50-50. You don't care about your kids, so you just said it ain't no benefit in it for a man. You just told on yourself. Don't say, oh, no. You just told on yourself. I care about my kids. You either don't care about your kids or you don't know what marriage does, which I'll give you either one. You might be ignorant to the institution of marriage. Most men are. They don't know it. You've been listening to TikTokers tell you about it. I can tell you what marriage is. You shouldn't have got married without looking up what marriage was. Y'all got married without knowing what it was. I'm telling you that, by the way, you're a married man talking about marriage doesn't benefit men. That's stupid. Anyways, which is another lie men like to tell about marriage. We like to lie about marriage and say it doesn't benefit men. There's tons of benefits for men. There's tons of benefits in marriage for men. I just gave you one, though. That's if you care about your kids, though. See what I'm saying? But a lot of men don't. Most men, see, Dave proving my point in real time, most men don't care about their children. They only care when they have access to the woman. So once that woman stop hunching on you, now you don't care about them babies. That's what most men do. You telling me I'm lying? The numbers say otherwise, see, Dave.
All right. So again, like you said, like you always lie. You just throw out bullshit stats. So first of all, there's no such thing as legally. There's no such thing as a fit. Oh my God. Go ahead.
This what I'll do for you one day if you want to. I promise you. I'm sorry, just because you said I lie all the time. I am willing to. We can do this on live. We can set it up. I will pay for you and me we could do the live together. I'll pay for you to go to a lie detector person. I'll go to a lie detector person. We'll get 10 questions we'll let people pick out 10 questions they want to ask us. We can sit down. It could be about these topics. It don't really necessarily got to be personal. We can sit down. I'll pay for mine. I'll pay for yours. And I'll put $1,000 on the line. And we can sit down with it. Like, I'm not even playing. Y'all think I'm joking. I've been thinking about doing this with somebody. See, Dave, you could be the first person. We can sit down and we could have the discussion. And if I tell one lie, you can have the $1,000. If I tell one lie, you can have the $1,000. I'll give you $1,000 if I tell one lie while being hooked up to a lie detector thing, right? But if you tell one lie, you got to give me $1,000. That's the bet. I'll pay for you to do it, right? So you can go for free, but you got to put up $1,000. Since I'm a liar, because you just like to throw that out there. Cool, I'm a liar. Let's prove it. I love when people say I'm a liar. Let's prove it.
Well, no, that's a stupid bet because lie detector tests can't determine if someone is lying. That's why they're not admissible in court.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's
Cool.
right. But I'm just going off of
Cool,
this.
brother.
So again, there's no legal thing that's called 50-50 custody. You either have joint custody, right? But you still have to have a custodial parent, right? And the custodial parent is the parent that is determined to determine where the child lives, right? They get to determine the school that the child goes to, so on and so forth. So there is no 50-50 in the course. If someone is doing,
See, Dave, joint is 50-50.
no, it's not.
It
Joint
is.
is not.
What do
In
you
order,
think a
so,
joint? Wait.
my
Hold on.
God.
Hold on, see, Dave. I'm
I'm
gonna help you out.
explaining to you.
I'm
Stop.
no.
I'm
I'm gonna
explaining
help
to you
you
what
out
joint
because
is.
you don't know what a joint does, right? Same thing. You don't know what marriage is. Let's say this is an appendage, and this is my arm, right? This is my forearm, and this is this part. I don't know what this part is called, but this part of my arm. My elbow is the joint, right? It's 50-50, bro. You see that? It's 50-50. That's the joint. To bind it together. Joint doesn't mean a percentage necessarily, but it could mean 50-50. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Joint custody doesn't mean that it's automatically 50-50. Don't get me wrong. But it does, and it can include 50-50. So you're wrong. Don't say that. I'm not saying you're lying. You're just wrong. You don't know what it means. A joint is this. A joint could be this. A joint could be this. A joint could be this. It's still a joint. So it could be 80-20. It could be 60-40, or it could be 50-50. Any of those. That's joint custody. You share custody. You're joined together. That's what joint means, bro. I hate y'all don't understand. These are simple terms and simple words. Talking about it's wrong. It's not wrong, brother. It's actually 100% correct. That's what it is. But go ahead, C. Dave.
Okay, yeah. So I'll give you the definition of what joint custody is for you. Okay, joint custody, and this is from a law site. Okay, joint custody is an agreement between two parties that gives access to the child. Right, that's what it is. It's called joint legal custody.
Did it say a percentage on there, C. Dave, with that definition you just read?
No, it doesn't say.
Okay, then what was the purpose in you reading it when we all knew that that's what joint? That's a part of what joint custody is.
You gotta let people talk. You gotta let people talk. So when you're talking to 50-50 means that I have typically in 50-50 agreements, what you're talking about, there's no child support rendered. Both parents are considered custodial
You can still get child support in 50-50, brother.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
Because you're splitting 50-50. Oh my God.
You can still get child support. What are you talking about? You can still get child support even with 50-50
You do not get child support if you have a 50-50 agreement because
You
both
can
parents
get child support in 50-50 custody. What are you talking about? You can't. See, Dave,
right.
just stop talking about this. That's what I'm saying. Stop focusing on the thing you don't know.
Okay.
I'm being dead serious. You can look it
You
up.
cannot get 50-50 because it's not 50-50 custody. It's not. It's not.
See, Dave.
How can child support is the basic thing for child support is to offset the cost that the other parent is doing but by having custodial parentship. If you are 50-50,
it's not just that.
Can I finish your thought? Let me finish your thought before you break me
Let
off.
you finish. It's not just that.
If 50-50, if it's 50-50, that means both parents are putting in the equal amount of time and equal amount of with the child, equal amount of resources, and spending equal amount of money. So there's no child support to be ordered because both of y'all are splitting everything down the middle.
Damn, I can't even begin to tell you how wrong that is. Because let me tell you this, C. Dave, and I'll get to you, Beijing. I'm using your analogy, right? Let's say I'm a rock star. I'm a multi-millionaire, rock star, right? I marry a woman who's not a rock star. She's just a regular woman financially, right? I've been taking care of her for 10 years, whatever the case may be. She moves out, right? She don't get the house, however it works. She don't get the house. She has to move out on her own. She don't get to live in this sprawling mansion that we live in the hills, whatever the case may be, right? Cool. She lives in an apartment or she lives in whatever the case may be. Even if we get 50-50 custody, I will have to give her money because the lifestyle difference from house to house is too vast. There's a disparity. There's too much of a disparity there. They don't want the kid to be going from a freaking mansion. They don't want the kid to be going from a freaking mansion to some apartment in, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't want that. So they're going to go, hey, you got to pay to keep the lot, to make it, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, we know you can't get up there, but you got to get it somewhere. You can't be here because you can afford to be here, but we really need you around here. And that's why, that is a reason why you would have to give up money, sir. If she makes $40,000 and you make $180,000, y'all are living two completely different lifestyles, right? But y'all are splitting time, which that's the 50-50 part. The time the kid is with you, right? 50-50. The time the kid is with you, the time the kid is with her. But she's making $40,000. You want her living on government assistance? No. They're going to make you pay child support. That's how it works. That's what I'm saying. That's how it works, fam. I'm not even an expert in this. I understand that much about child support, but I'm tired of talking about it because it's pointless. You don't even know what you're talking about. There's no argument here. Go ahead,